Schatz.
Thank you very much, Chairman. Mr. White, thank you for your willingness to serve. The United States is trying to build and rebuild goodwill in the Pacific after years of neglect, and people-to-people ties are central, especially in island nations. I understand that at least 4 countries, FSM, Kiribati, the Marshalls, and Palau, have invited the Peace Corps back. Do I have your commitment to prioritize these requests?
Thank you, Senator, for the question. If confirmed, I'll certainly work with you carefully and closely to ensure that we're prioritizing important countries.
Thank you. I also understand that the Solomon Islands agreement has hit some roadblocks. Are you tracking that at all yet?
Thank you, Senator. I'm not privy to the details there, but if confirmed, I'll certainly get you that information.
Okay, and I think this is workable, but it is a roadblock, and I think one of the experiences we've had over the last, I would say, 8-ish years is that relatively solvable problems fester just from a lack of personal attention and sometimes physical presence in the region. I know as well as anyone how hard it is to get, getting to Honolulu is 10 hours if you're lucky, and then it's going to be another, in some instances, 10, 15, 18 hours, depending on layovers and reliability and all the rest of it. So I really do think physical presence of the United States government manifested by the Peace Corps is critical, and I'm hoping I can have your commitment on that.
Yes, Senator, absolutely.
Thank you. Ms. Garg, Egypt is ranked 168th out of 180 countries by Reporters Without Borders and is currently imprisoning 19 journalists. With the challenges posed by wartime misinformation and disinformation, I think we've seen in the last couple of weeks how rotten the information ecosystem has become, and I'd like you to speak both to press freedom, but sort of the first cousin of that is just finding a reliable source of information and a dissemination strategy that will actually work, because I don't think you can play whack-a-mole with all the nonsense out there. I think what you have to do is just be reliable and hope that that has its own gravitational pull. So I'm wondering if you can give me your thoughts in that area.
Thank you very much, Mr. Senator, for that very important question. And I'm going to respond in 2 parts. The first is on the very important rights of journalists and freedom of expression, which throughout my career I have defended. So I will continue to do so. The second is on the misinformation piece. And coming from Bulgaria, where that was a very important part of the job as well, I agree with you completely that it is incumbent upon us not only to find reliable sources, but to be the ones who do the speaking ourselves to talk about the truth. And I will definitely use my podium and Arabic to try to get that message across in the region, because it's vitally important that we are also telling our side of the story.
So I hear your commitment, and I appreciate your commitment, but I figured you would say that. I guess my question is, what do we do specifically? Because I think everyone operates under the principle that press freedom is essential, and especially in times of conflict, it's essential to get good information out. I'm interested in, okay, so how do we operationalize that other than, every time we have a bilateral, talk about press freedom, prioritize imprisoned and imperiled journalists. All of those are things that we currently do, but frankly, the information environment and the press freedom environment continues to deteriorate. So how do we change course? Do you have any techniques or strategies or even preliminary thoughts along those lines?
I can just tell you from previous experience some thoughts on that, sir, which is, if confirmed and after working with the team on the ground and evaluating the environment, looking at what additional training might be necessary, looking at which outlets, for example, maybe it's online outlets that might have more reliable sources rather than TV, for example. So once that survey is done, and then it would be to try to use the outlets that have greater credibility in order to get our messages across.
Thank you. Just one final thought, and I don't mean this in a hectoring or critical way. I don't think we have a theory of the case yet. I don't think we have a theory of the case. I don't think the administration does yet. I think this challenge has emerged so quickly that it's understandable that we're still in a sort of strategy development phase. But let's develop the strategy, because I am unsatisfied with even my own response, which is essentially, hey, what about press freedom? That's fine, but everyone's going to nod and say, yes, press freedom is important, and things keep going in the wrong direction. So I do think we need to rethink all of our strategic approaches to communications generally, but press freedom in particular. Thank you.